The next antiplatelet or antithrombotic agent is dipyridamole. So this dipyridamole this is the structure of the dipyridamole. Okay, so structure of dipyridamole. So this is the heterocyclic ring system. So ring list. So all of them are there is 2 to system or 2 to functional or heterocyclic systems are there. Okay, this is similar to this one. So easy to remember. So please kindly concentrate. So this is the pyrimidine derivative. Okay, so this is the pyrimidine nucleus and this is another pyrimidine nucleus. So pyrimidine derivative which has got the vasodilatory as well as antiplatelet properties. Okay, and coming to the mechanism of action. So in the morning class we or before class we have seen that this cyclic AMP is converted into 5' AMP with the help of enzyme known as phosphodiesterase enzyme. Okay, so the inhibition of this enzyme will lead to the increased concentrations of cyclic AMP. Okay, so antiplatelet function is by increasing the cellular concentration of cyclic AMP via its inhibition of degrading enzyme, that is the cyclic nucleotide, which is called as phosphodiesterase 3. Okay, so this is an important question. Then this it blocks adenosine uptake, which acts at A2 adenosine receptor to stimulate platelet adenyl cyclase. Then less common use for this drug include inhibition of embolization from prosthetic heart valves when used in combination with warfarin, and reduction of thrombosis in patients with thrombotic disease when used in combination with aspirin. So in most of the cases, we are saying that it is either used with warfarin or used with aspirin. Okay. So what is meant by embolization? Okay. Emboli. So if the clot is broken off from the blood vessel. Okay, so in the morning class we have seen, or in the previous class we have seen, this is the clot formation within the blood vessel, and due to, so now what happens, this is the actual diameter of the blood vessel, and now due to clot formation the diameter has reduced, and so there will be excessive force or on this particular part. Due to that, this clot will be lodged off and it enters into the blood circulation. So this is known as emboli, embolization. Okay, that is formation of emboli from the clot area is known as embolization. Okay, so it prevents the embolization and it also used in the thrombotic diseases. So with the warfarin initially, and after that in thrombotic diseases it is used in combination with aspirin. Then alone dipyridamole has little if any benefit in the treatment of thrombotic disease. So here the dipyridamole as a single drug has got little action as antithrombotic agent. It is only used in combination with the warfarin or with the aspirin. So in exam they may ask you dipyridamole is used as a single drug or in combination. So then you must be able to. If it is in combination, what are the drugs of choice to go for the combination? So it is warfarin or with the aspirin based on the type of disease that is to be treated or condition. Then coming to the another receptor, that is platelet P2Y purinergic receptor. So this is the third site for the development of antithrombotic drugs. Okay, So the crucial role that ADP plays in platelet activation and aggregation has been extensively investigated, and it is found that the molecular targets of ADP in the platelet are G protein coupled P2Y purinergic receptors. Okay. So there are three nucleotide receptors of these purinergic receptors, that is P2X1, then second is the a cation channel receptor activated by ATP, and third is purinergic receptors P2Y1 and P2Y12, both of which are activated by ADP. So these three nucleotide receptors which are present, okay, of that the P2Y receptor is the one which accepts the ADP as agonist, ADP as agonist, and that is responsible for the platelet aggregation or the clot formation, right? The P2Y1 and P2Y12 are the two receptors here, and both of them has ATP as the substrate for them. Okay, so once the ATP the binds with the two P2Y1 and P212, then this receptor is activated. Then coming to the next, this initial binding of ATP to the P2Y1 purinergic receptor, which is a 32 amino acid protein, that 373 amino acid protein is the P2Y1 purinergic receptor, induces platelet shape changes, causing intracellular calcium mobilization and integrates aggregation. So it aids in the aggregation process, that is platelet aggregation. Then subsequent binding of the ADP to the next receptor, that is P2Y12 urinergic receptor, which 342 amino acid sequence receptor, leads to sustained platelet aggregation by inhibiting adenyl cyclase and thereby decreasing the cellular CAMP levels. The P2Y12 receptor is coupled to the GAI2 G protein. Then the antithrombotic drugs, that is clopidine and clopidogrel, are irreversible antagonists of this P2Y12 purinergic receptor. Similarly, we have seen that aspirin is also a irreversible antagonist. So even the two drugs, that is the clopidogrel and the other drug ticlopidine, both of them are irreversible inhibitors of the P2Y12 receptor. The clinical relevance of this P2Y12 receptor as a new target for antiplatelet drug development of novel reversible antagonists has been extensively reviewed, and these two drugs are acting on this P2Y12. So this is the structure of clopidogrel. The clopidogrel belongs to a class of, or chemical class, which is known as thienopyridines. Thienopyridines, which through inhibition of platelet aggregation prolong bleeding time and delay the clot retraction. The thienopyridines are prescribed for reduction of infarction and stroke, also for the treatment of peripheral arterial diseases, and in combination with aspirin for acute coronary syndromes. So these are the three consequences where the clopidogrel or thienopyridines are commonly prescribed. And both aspirin and the thienopyridines block major amplification pathways, leading to platelet aggregation and thus producing enhanced effectiveness. Okay. So then, mechanism of action of clopidogrel. The thienopyridines class exhibits selective inhibition of the ADP-induced platelet aggregation. The actions of ticlopidine, clopidogrel appear to be irreversible in that there is still antiplatelet activity for 7 to 10 days after discontinuation of the medications. So that means because the bonding between the P2Y12 receptor and the thienopyridines is an irreversible. So it stays there for 7 to 10 days. Thienopyridines function as prodrugs requiring cytochrome P450. Okay, so unlike the aspirin, the thienopyridines are prodrugs. That means they must be activated or they must undergo biotransformation to give the active metabolite which acts on the P2YA, P2Y12 receptor. So the enzyme involved in activation process is the cytochrome P450 enzyme. Okay, and the interaction is irreversible. These are the two things that you will have to remember: enzyme and type of bonding, that is covalent bonding, which inhibition of platelet aggregation and will lead to the bleeding time and delay in clot retraction. An active carboxylic acid represents the major circulating metabolite, while activation occurs through oxidation by CYP3A4 with possible involvement of other cytochrome isoforms, giving rise to the 2-oxo derivative. This is the metabolite, which in turn is hydrolyzed to the thiol form. So this thiol form is the active one, and we will see in the next slide how this thiol form interacts with the receptor. So the thiol binds irreversibly to the PY12 by forming a disulfide bridge to cysteine in P2Y12. Especially clopidogrel is thought to bind to cysteine 17 or cysteine 270 amino acid and thus block the binding of the agonist. Then coming to the uses, the thienopyridines are prescribed, as we told, that they are used in myocardial infarction and stroke, treatment of peripheral arterial diseases, and in combination with aspirin for acute coronary syndromes. Okay. Then coming to the side effects. So ticlopidine, which is a thienopyridine derivatives, in small population will lead to neutropenia. That is 1 to 2% of the population who are taking or who are taking this disease. This uh, uh, drug ticlopidine are liable to have neutropenia. Thus, that is potentially fatal, may cause thrombocytopenic purpura and is largely replaced with clopidogrel. So clopidogrel is safe when compared to the ticlopidine because this neutropenia and thrombocytopenia are less commonly seen with clopidogrel. Okay. And then additional side effects include diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and skin rash. Then coming to the pharmacokinetics and metabolism, the thienopyridines are rapidly absorbed and extensively metabolized in the liver. And inactive carboxylic acid represents the major circulating metabolite with activation occurs by CYP3A4 enzyme, then giving rise to 2-oxo derivative, which is in turn hydrolyzed to thiol group, and the thiol form of the metabolite is active metabolite, which binds with the receptor. The thiol binds irreversibly to P2Y12 by forming disulfide linkage to the cysteine of the 17 or the other one. Okay. Then clopidogrel is thought to bind to, that is cysteine 17 or cysteine 270. The short-lived metabolites may be responsible. Other than these, the oxidized forms, okay, which have got the thiol group, there are also other metabolites which are responsible for the adverse reactions. That is the thrombocytopenic purpura and neutropenia. So this is how the clopidogrel, which is a prodrug, is converted into active form. CYP3A4, which belongs to a class, that is the subfamily of the cytochrome P450. So this is the carboxy metabolite, which is not an active one, inactive compound. Okay. Then other are 2-oxochloroquine. So that is the oxidation, that is here oxidation takes place. And after that, ring opening takes place, and the that is thiol group is generated here, and this thiol group reacts with the cysteine. Okay, and this is the compound interacting with the 2YP. This is the compound which interacts with the CYP. Sorry, the receptor, that is P12. Okay, that is the receptor with which it reacts, and it is a irreversible, that is covalent bond is formed. That's why we say it is irreversible. So here this is the covalent bond which is formed with the uh, PY2 P2Y12. Okay, then coming to the clopidogrel metabolites. So after the formation of the thiol groups, so this is CYP450 giving the 2-oxoclopidogrel, and then later on endothiol metabolite is formed, and thiol active metabolite. So this is actually responsible for the interaction of PY12. Then with the help of esterases, so clopidogrel carboxylic metabolite is formed. Then UDP glucuronide transferase, it forms clopidogrel acyl glucuronide. So this is phase 2 in metabolism, and all other these are phase 1 metabolites or metabolism. Okay, this is important one is thiol active metabolite. This is active with which the receptor interacts. Then coming to the clopidogrel is an important and also a potent oral platelet antiplatelet agent often used in the treatment of coronary artery disease, peripheral vascular disease, and cerebrovascular disease. Clopidogrel is used for reducing the risk of stroke or heart attack in patients who have already had a heart attack or stroke, or have other circulatory problems due to narrowing and hardening of arteries. So this is where the clopidogrel is used. And the synthesis of clopidogrel, so this is the uh, starting material which reacts with the that is in presence of sulfuric acid and methanol at 6 to 7 degrees and 15 hours reflex. Then the ester is formed. Okay, COOH is converted into COOCH3. Okay, and the tartaric acid, so isomers are formed. So treatment with plus tartaric acid in presence of methanol, then the tartaric acid salt is formed, and you can see the tautomerism of the isomers formed because this is the chiral carbon. So two of them are formed, and then in presence of the solvent dichloromethane and NaHCO3 and H2O, so you have this only one of the isomer, and that reacts with the substituted thiophene, okay, to give an addition product, and this on treatment with the formaldehyde, which is a contributor of single carbon, and thereby ring closure takes place. So HCHO is the formaldehyde in water, and at room temperature at 24 for 24 hours if it is kept, and then secondly water and acetone, then uh, it is separated and you will get plus clopidogrel. Okay, and the bisulfate form is isolated. Okay, this the H2SO4 is used here to form the salt form of this drug. Okay, so this is the synthesis of clopidogrel, And these are the references: William Foyer, textbook of medicinal chemistry, and then an introduction to medicinal chemistry by Graham L. Patrick, Oxford University publishers, and the Lednisser, Daniel Lednisser, strategies for organic drug synthesis and design, John Valley. Okay, so here is the of the